Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chatting with Chantel. It's your girl Chantel, and we are back. We are here with another episode. We thank God for life, health, and strength. We thank Him for another opportunity that we can come back with another episode that makes us better, that causes us to think outside the box, that causes us to reflect on things that we've gone through, things that we've done, and it makes us be better, it makes us do better, and it makes us push toward the goals that we have in our life, in our spiritual walk, in just our day-to-day interactions with people. It causes us to be better. Welcome to all of those that are joining us for the very first time. Please make sure you like, share, and comment wherever you're listening to this podcast. We are on Facebook. We are on Spreaker.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Music. We are on Amazon. So wherever you're listening to this podcast, please make sure that you share. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how this has touched your life in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Welcome. We are in a new season where we are having moments of reflection where we look back on whether it's our day, our week, our month, our year, and we are finding the greater good out of everything that we do, and we are positively and intentionally moving in purpose. Welcome to you all. Thank you so much for those that are tuning in, for those that took the time to like, share, and comment, to those that took the time to listen and just allow what is being said to minister to you or to motivate you or to constantly remind you that you are somebody, that you are special, that you are chosen, that you are anointed, that you are called in whatever God has allowed you to do. Hello. It is October 2023, and I am just so excited. We're in a month where we are advocating for mental health awareness. We are advocating for breast cancer awareness. It's a month where awareness has been really big, and it's been pivotal in the lives of so many. Want to give a shout out definitely to my sorority, Eta Sigma Theta, who we have taken on a goal of just being aware of everything that's going around us and making sure that everything that we put out is informational. It's everything that we put out is for the benefit of someone. Someone can gather something about something. To all of my soror sisters, to all of my leaders, I thank God for you. I thank God for the roles that you play in my life. I thank God for all those that did not think that Chatting with Chantel would be where it is today. And regardless of what someone else may think, regardless of what the comments may be or how many likes and shares we get, this is that thing that God gave to me. This is that thing that God allowed me to pilot and to launch. And we have had moments where we have had to go back to the drawing board. We've had moments where we've had to take a break. We've had moments where we've had to reconstruct. But all in all, God still brings me back to that place where He says, this is what I've given to you, and you will pursue in that thing that I've given you. And that's Chatting with Chantel, where we talk, where we begin to listen, where we begin to just bond in the likenesses of the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis, our spiritual walk, just our mental. The things that we bond help us grow. It helps us be better persons. It helps us be better women. It gives us strength. It gives us motivation. It gives us power to supersede everything that the enemy says that we cannot have control of. And I first thank God. I am proud of where it is. I am proud of all that is accomplished. I'm proud of me, because when many said that it was not possible, when many said that you're not cut out for this, or when many said that you would not be consistent and you would not follow through, God has given me the strength. He's given me the ability, and He's given me the power and the knowledge and the wisdom and the knowledge to continue to push forward. And I thank God. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of those that are listening at this time. I appreciate you. To all of the October birthdays, to all of those that means so much to me, to every fellowship that I have that is pivotal to my spiritual walk, that causes me to constantly make sure that I respond differently, that everything that I do represents Christ and allows me to be who God has called me to be. I thank you. And on tonight, we're just going to talk a little bit about where we're going, that we are in the month of October, and where we're going as we round out the end of the year, as we round out the last few months that are in this year. Where are we? Where is your mind space? Are you still busy? Have you become lackadaisical? Have you become complacent? Or are you still moving? Want to give honor first to God, to every leader that is in my life that means something, to my parents who have constantly been my foundation, to my sisters in Christ who are my everything. We're constantly talking, and we're constantly having conversations that give me ideas, that cause me to continue to write. Hats off to you. You know that I love you with every part of my being. Hats off to you. And on tonight, we just want to have a conversation. The title of this episode is Reboot, Refresh to Finish 2023. And we are 62 days away from the end of the year. We're 62 days away from starting a new year, starting fresh. So, when I thought about it, I thought about when you are using electronics, and every so often your service slows down, your screen freezes, you start buffering, the mouse stops moving, and to fix the issue or to continue, we have to hit the refresh button or log out or sign back in, or we even have to hit Control-Alt-Delete. We have to sometimes clear and close out the open windows that we have, only to reopen, to restart, and to keep moving forward. We are technically, again, like I said, we are technically 62 days away from 2024. And guess what? It's not too late to keep going and to make something shake. Many times people look at the time, they look at the days, the weeks, and the months, and think that it's too late. But guess what? There was nothing made or created in just 1 year, in just 365 days, in just 6 months, in just 12 months, or just 3 months, or just a month. Nothing was created in just that short of a time. Some of the things that we have established or we have gotten ourselves into has taken a long period of time. So in order to undo some of what we have done, it's going to take a longer period of time. And we put so much stress and deadline on ourselves to complete, master, fix, repair the things that we've done. Even though, we know that some of the things that we've done may have been irresponsible, may have been, a bad decision, may have been not what we needed to do. Even though we make those decisions, it's an accumulation of time that it takes for us to get there, or it takes for it to take effect, or it takes for it to be undone. And that's my motivation on today, that even though we've gotten ourselves into certain things, or we've started certain things and we may have not finished, it's not too late. We still have 62 days. 62 days is a long time to say, guess what? I'm not going to start anything new. I'm not going to pick up anything. I'm not going to continue on with what I started out with in January. And here it is, October. I'm not going to do it. But guess what? 62 days is a lot of time for us to pick up and realize that, guess what? The race is not finished. We're not done. That we still have time to, guess what? Pick up the baton and begin again. A lot of what we have done in this year has caused us to experience burnout. And because of the things that we have experienced, it does not match up with, what our mind says, what we thought that the response would be. So, a lot of times we fall, we falter, we fail, we put it down, we put it on the bookshelf, we backdoor it, or we, try and find shortcuts that overall set us back a couple years, a couple months, a couple days, all of those things. But guess what? My encouragement to you today is, guess what? You have the ability to start over. And that's why I named this episode Reboot, Refresh, to finish 2023. Sometimes we have to hit the refresh button. Sometimes we have to hit the restart button. Sometimes we got to kick ourselves in the behind and say, guess what? Get up, girl. Like, why are you throwing in the towel? And we still have time left to do what it is that we need to do. Get up, dust yourself off, and start over again. So you have the time to start over. So you had a hiccup. So the system that you thought would work crashed. If first you don't succeed, that's what the saying says. If first you don't succeed, try again. That's one of those instances that we have to put into action. Okay, so we did not succeed in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, but here we are in October, and guess what? If first you don't succeed, you keep on trying, you keep on going back to the drawing board, you keep on finding and plugging in solutions that might make that thing work. You keep on talking to the Father and asking Him, whatever it is in this season that you're requiring of me to do, allow me to do it. Give me the means to make sure that this happens. Give me the word that I need to translate what it is that you're wanting me to say. The race is not given to the swift or the strong, but to the one that says, okay, I may have to go back to the drawing board. I may have to hit Control Alt Delete and start all over again. I may have to refresh. I may have to reboot the screen. I may have to shut everything on and turn it back on again. I may have to go back to the drawing board and figure out figures. I may have to go back and rewrite some things. I may have to go back and self-reflect and make sure everything that I'm saying applies to me first before I give it to others. Things that I may be doing, I may have to go back and undo what I've done. I may have to ask for forgiveness. I may have to pray more. I may have to seek more. I may have to allow myself to step out of the box more. But whatever it is, the race is not given to the swift. Nobody says that you have to be first. Nobody says that you have to be on top. All that it says is that we have to finish the race. And when I finish the race, I'm finishing with the surety that, guess what? God has been with me all the time. Every answer that I've asked Him to give me, He's given it to me. It may not have been when I wanted it, but it was just right on time. It may not been when I thought it was going to come through or while I was going through something, but it was when I could hear it the clearest. Everything that God does is for a reason. I constantly say it, God is strategic about everything that He does. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but it's to the one that refuses to quit, that refuses to stop pushing, that refuses to quit excelling, that refuses to be called a quitter, that refuses to be defeated. The race is given to that person that though I may get a little dirty, though I may get tossed and to and fro, though I may fall, though I may falter, though I may make mistakes and I have to go back, and I may have to go back to the drawing board, and I may have to rethink some things again. I might even have to change the date. I might even have to go back and look at the figures to make sure that my finances, God, line up with what God has given me, everything that He's given me. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but it's to the one that will endure to the end. It's to the one that, regardless if I only have one listener, guess what? I'll keep on going. If I only have got one person that likes, shares, or comment, guess what? I'll keep going. If I only have one that will be on my side to keep motivating me, to keep saying, guess what you're doing is good. If I only have one that says, guess what you're saying makes a difference in my life, I'll keep going. The race is not given to the swift nor the strong, because guess what? When you're fast, you may miss some things. But guess what? When I take my time and I look at everything that's going on around me, I'm taking it all in. I won't miss anything. And I'll make sure that everything that I'm doing is intentional. I'll make sure everything that I'm doing is on purpose. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that endures to the end, which means that everything that I go through to get to the end, guess what? It is pivotal to my purpose. It causes me to be who I am. It causes me to say yes over and over and over again. It causes me to get myself up again and dust myself off and say, guess what? Even though this didn't work, I'll try it another way. Guess what? The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one that has the guts, that has the gall, that has the, guess what? Without God, I can't do anything. I'll do anything for Him. There's nothing that is going to separate me from His love. Guess what? That's the person that will endure to the end. That's that person that wins the race. That's that person that at the end of the race gets all the praise and all the glory, because after all that you've been through, you still get a testimony. You still got a testimony that says God was with me all the time. I may not have understood it. I may not have been able to fathom in my mind why I'm going through what I'm going through, but I understand that my race is different from those that are around me. I understand that my race doesn't look like the average race. I understand that my race is for my family. My race is for my children. My race is for those that are connected to me. My race is for those that I love. My race is for those that have been broken. My race is for those that deal and are coping with mental health. My race is for those that have lost all hope. My race is for them. So every time that I push, every time that I supersede, every time that I keep on going, I understand that I'm making a difference somewhere, and I'm breaking the stigma that you don't have to suffer alone, that every story has a testimony. It may not be always a joyous occasion, but guess what? Because of your testimony, somebody's delivered. Because of your testimony, somebody is allowed to look at a situation different, and there is hope at the end. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to those that endure to the end. And I just can't get past that part. I many times I don't understand things that are going around, things that are going on around me, things that people say, things that people purposely do. But I understand that because of the race that I'm running, I understand if they did it to Jesus, I know they'll do it to me. If they did it to the Father, I know they'll do it to me. What makes me any better than the Creator, than the one that gave His life for us? If they did it for him, I know they'll do it to me. And for that mere reason, to know that they did it to that person that gives life, that person that has the final say, that person that heals, delivers, and sets free, if they do it to him, I know they'll do it to me. And at this point, it's okay. I'm okay because I'll keep pushing because I'm going to finish the race. Having to refresh and reboot, there's nothing wrong with that. That just means I get to see things in a different light. That means that where I was stuck, I get to start over. That means where I lacked understanding, I get understanding. That means where I was weak, I'm stronger. That means where I failed, I succeed when I have to reboot and refresh. Sometimes we have to shut down and then reapply ourselves or revisit something to make it what it is designed to be. And it's okay. Reboot, refresh to finish 2023. Whatever it is that you have going on in your life, whatever it is that you desire to do, whatever it is that you have said that I want to be a part of, what describes me, or what reflects what I've gone through to help somebody else, or what helps pull somebody else from A to B, whatever it is, let me reboot, refresh to finish 2023. It does not say that I have to finish it in 2023. It just says that I cannot quit. I can't quit. I can't throw in the towel. I can't turn my back on that which God has given me. God didn't give you anything for you to turn your back on it, leave it alone, and never to pursue it. We still have 62 days left. And guess what? We have 62 days left. And guess what? I'm feeling more confident than I was in January. We have 62 days left, and I have created a rhythm for myself that works for me. I've created a schedule that works for me. I've created a pattern of talking to God. I've created a life that's surrounded by him. I've created a love language that gets his attention. I've created with less than 62 days left in this year, I have created a relationship with him that says, guess what? I'm not going to let you fail. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to forsake you. 62 days left, and I have added new ideas. I have a new plan. We may have had to reconstruct some things because that which we started out looking at is not what it needs to be. It's not what you need. That may be a hiccup in your life that you may not need to go through. But with 62 days left, guess what? You can add those things to it and keep on pushing. 62 days left to reroute and go a different direction, because we are now privy to the enemy that's all around us. We're privy to every roadblock. We're privy to every obstruction that's in our way that will cause us to lose focus of where God is intending us to be. 62 days left, and we still have time to get it right. 62 days left, and we can go back and weigh the pros and the cons. Well, if I do this, what is it going to do? Is it going to get me where God has called me to be? Is it going to cause me to fail? Is it going to cause God to get the glory, or the enemy's going to get the glory? Is it going to cause me to second guess what God has done in my life? Or is it going to allow me to soak in my feelings? 62 days left to truly see and know what God has for me, has for you. 62 days left. You still have time to begin to communicate with God and say, guess what? I don't desire to have these things on my life. I don't desire to continue in this direction. I don't desire to be mediocre. I don't desire to experience lack and to experience failure. It's 62 days left to pour out my heart to God and say, guess what? For you I live and for you I die. 62 days left to let him know that every everything about me is for you. If I have to go by myself, I will. 62 days left. You have to reaffirm your love, to reaffirm your faith, to reaffirm the purpose and the will that he has in your life. 62 days left. To rectify any areas that may be causing viruses and bugs that will freeze the plan that God has. See, we can't continue to connect with all those things that cause us to stop, that cause us to waver, that cause us to fall, that cause us to forget, that cause us to lose focus. 62 days left to get rid of that. Our spyware, our at this moment is the word, and we apply the word to everything that we have, and it begins to get rid of the viruses. It begins to get rid of the bugs. It begins to get rid of all that we don't need to proceed for. 62 days left for you to realize that your life is worth so much more than you give credit to, regardless of what people say, regardless of what people do, regardless of how they refuse to acknowledge or refuse to give credit to. You have to know without a shadow of a doubt, when God gives you something, he gives it to you. He don't give it to nobody else. The same way he gave it to them and didn't tell you, guess what? He gave you that thing, and he gave it to you with a purpose, and you have to walk in that purpose. You have to have a boldness. You have to have a for God I live and for God I die type type of mentality that says, I don't care what's going on around me. I have 62 days left to let God know that I'm still sold out for him. 62 days left to get up and dust yourself off and keep going. Are you going to throw in the towel in October when we're almost there? Not to say that you're going to finish, not to say that you will have conquered that thing, not to say that, you know what, there's not still work to be done, but you know, sometimes there's a timeline that God gives us, and as he keeps saying, okay, this year this is what I wish for you to accomplish, or this is where I need you to be by 2024, we still have time left. You still have 62 days to make up for what was lost. You still have 62 days to, guess what, rev it up and supersede past what God has given you. You still have 62 days, guess what, to begin. Even if you, guess what, relaxed and you vacationed, or you threw God to the wayside and you became complacent and lackadaisical, thinking that you had time, and now all of a sudden you're realizing that it's October, and now all of a sudden you're realizing it's 62 days to the end of the year. You still have time to say, guess what, God, I know I waited to the 9th hour, but guess what, even in this 9th hour, I'm selling out to you. I am giving you full control of my life. And God never said that, guess what, when we made those goals, aspirations, and dreams and deadlines in our life, that they had to be completed in a year. But what God wanted to see was consistency. What God wanted to see was dedication. What God wanted to see is that you were going to be intentional about your relationship. What God wanted to see is that you were going to put all hands in. And when you said that, creating me a clean heart and renewing me a right spirit, that you meant that, and that your mindset was going to be that of, I am greater than what the enemy says that I am, and I will not be defeated, and I will not be conquered, because I know whose child I am. I know who my Father is. I know who the greater God is. I know who the great I am. He's the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. And because I know who he is, I'm not going to be defeated. That's what God wanted us to see. God never says that we would be completed in 365 days, because it did not take us 365 days to get in some of the mess that we were in. But what he said is that if we trusted him and if we had faith, he would come through for us. And so in these last 62 days, do you have the faith? Do you have the trust? Do you have the willpower? Do you have the love? Do you have what it takes to allow God to be who he is in your life. 62 days left. That's all that we have. But it's not too late for you to begin the process of better, to begin the process of forgiveness, to begin the process of, guess what? I choose to live and not die. Do you have what it takes to reboot, refresh, to finish 2023? 2023 is not over yet. We're just in October. There's still time to make a difference. There's still time to stamp your claim. There's still time to make your kingdom fingerprint. There's still time to be intentional and purposeful in all that we're doing. Do you have what it takes to reboot, refresh, to finish 2023? So you may have to hit Control-Alt-Delete. So you may have to hit the refresh button. So you may have to power down and power back up. So what? Do you have what it takes to finish and do what God has given you? That thing, that project, that goal, that mission, that idea, that plan. Do you have what it takes to fulfill the purpose that God has given you in the earth? That's my encouragement on today. Don't quit now. We still have 62 days left. You have strength, you have wisdom, you have power. And if you don't, that's when you begin to open up your mouth and you pray and you ask God, here I am. Forgive me for what I have not done. Forgive me for taking you for granted. Forgive me for taking so long. But in these next 62 days, prepare me for what is to come. Give me the strength to keep on going. Give me the power to say that I am better than what the enemy has posed in front of me, because it will paint a wonderful picture and show all of your flaws, and show that because this is something that's in your family, that this is all that you're going to be. It will show you that, guess what? Just because your name is a certain thing, you never have the ability to be better. Do you have what it takes to finish these 62 days and finish strong? Finish with purpose and finish with being intentional in everything that you, it does not matter what it is. It can be your life. It can be your mental. It can be your health. It can be your financial. It can be any projects or businesses that you have desired to start or unfold in this year. It can be just your spiritual walk with Him. Do you have what it takes to finish out these 62 days and be all that Christ has asked you today to be? Reboot, refresh, to finish 2023. You got it. I know that you do. Like I said, the race is not given to, nobody said you had to be fast. Nobody said that you always have to be strong. But if you keep on going, if you refuse to stop moving, if you refuse to be pushed back and keep moving forward, the race is given to the, not to the swift, nor to the strong, but to the one that endures to the end. I'm going to finish. I'm going to see this thing through, and I'm going to walk into 2024 with a clear mind, a clear vision, a clearer game plan of what I need to do to be who God has called me to be. Reboot, refresh, to finish 2023. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was just my motivation and moments to reflect on this course of this week, after everything that has transpired on this week, after everything that I have endured. God reminded me that, guess what? I didn't bring you this far to leave you. I didn't keep opening doors for you to leave you. So do you have what it takes to finish out these next 62 days? Do you have what it takes? Are you going to come this far and quit? Will your work be in vain because you don't see what I see? Trust me when I say God sees far past what we see. God knows far past what we know. But if we just keep our eyes on him, if we just trust him and not how it looks on around us, we will be much better off. Reboot, refresh to finish 2023. Don't let anybody talk you out of what you're entitled to. Don't let anybody stop you from doing what God has already given you or placed in your lap. Don't let anybody allow you to walk away from what has been keeping you, from what has been covering you, from what has been pushing you and driving you to be better than you are day after day after day. Reboot, refresh to finish 2023. Thank you so much for joining us on this day. I hope that this word blesses someone and motivates someone and causes them to refocus, reboot, to refresh and finish these last 62 days that we have in 2023 and go into 2024 with a blast of purpose, with a blast of being intentional, with a blast of, guess what distracted me in 2023 will have no effect on me in 2024. I'm so glad that you guys took the time to listen, tune in, to share, to comment, to like. I'm so glad that wherever this is landing in the ear gates of the people, in the ear gates of those that took the time to click on play, I pray that God gives you a motivation, that God gives you a word, that God gives you a vision of all that he is trying to do in your life, of all that he's trying to give you. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's path is different. And even though we may start off together, it does not mean that we will end together, because we all are walking a different walk with Christ. But one thing I know is that he will never leave us. He will never forsake us, and that he will continue to love us, push us, and cause us to be better day after day. Reboot, refresh to finish 2023. Thank you so much for those that are chiming in. Please make sure when this post that you leave your comments, that you leave any questions. If you desire to contact me, know that you can contact me through April C. Skinner 1229@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook. I will be on Spotify. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. Wherever you hear this message, let me know that you've heard it. Let me know that you get it, and that you are empowered by what God is calling for you to do in these last days, and these last 62 days that we have left in 2023. It's not our last days. It's not our worst days. It's not any days to be sad. But what we're doing is we're looking towards the prize of the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. Thank you so much for those that are tuning in. Know that I love you and that I wish the very best for you. Don't forget to make sure that you take care of your mental. Take time to relax, relate, and release, and listen to what God has for you. Know that you are blessed. Know that you are called and you are chosen. And that is all that I have for you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Good night.